I'm at Sandown Pier on this lovely sand, giving you my story, and it goes something like this. I came home from work about 6 o'clock one evening, got a letter saying that my wife was divorcing me. That was the last straw. I just lost my brother about a year previous. I'd lost my father and brother previously to that. So realistically, I had nothing to live for. So come home from work about 6 o'clock, jumped in the car, drove here, stopped here to contemplate. And seeing as I'm quite a religious man, I came here to ask a question. I was going to drive my car off that cliff over there because I just had enough. I was at my wit's end. My brother Roy used to be a professional football player, and one day he just dropped down dead with a blood clot on his lung. Didn't get time to say goodbye to me, but that happened to my dad as well. My brother Danny had a heart attack, so realistically I never had a chance to say goodbye to any of them. So I looked up at the sky and I said, Roy, give me one good reason if you're there why I should stay here. And he turned around at me and said, you've got 2 daughters. Who's going to protect and look after them if anything happens to you? My mum just had breast cancer. He said, who's going to look after mum if she gets worse? So I looked up at the sky, lovely starry night it was. It was beautiful, really lovely. And I said, Roy, if you're up there, I said, show me a sign. Now, the only sign that he could have really shown me, his whole life was about football. Professional at 15, played for Chelsea, Brentford. He had a lovely career ahead of him. And then all of a sudden, he couldn't take the pressure of it all and he threw it all away. Now, sorry, I have to say this. I've asked the question, give me a sign, Roy, if I'm not imagining any of this. Just give me a sign, please. So I stood there for about 5 minutes praying, saying, Roy, if I'm not hearing voices, are you there? And all of a sudden I looked down and this ball came straight to my feet. Now, look at the size of this ocean. Why did that ball blow from anywhere come straight to my feet like that? That was my sign. So I'm not hearing things. I know what I'm doing here. I know what reasons I'm doing here. I know what God wants me to do here, and that is make this country a better place, a safer place to live in, and hopefully all religions can live as one and we can all be happy. It's as simple as that. You respect our religion, we'll respect yours. Job done. But anyhow, that's my story about my brother Roy, and he saved my life that night, and that is a fact.
Mark Rabbetts is a religious man. By his own account, he prays every day and has believed in God since he was a small child. Over the course of the last few years, he has suffered a series of setbacks and personal traumas that bears comparison to the biblical figure of Job. Having emerged on the other side, he now does more than pray. He claims to speak not just to the departed, but to God directly. And God answers back to charge him with a personal mission to save Great Britain. Over the course of this documentary, we ask the question, is he mad or divinely inspired? And if he is the Son of God, how would we even know?
Big old door, look. Come in. Come and look at my father's house, come on. This is one of many. What do you think? Is it not beautiful? I'm honoured to kneel here in front of my father and say, I love you, you are my life, and I will die for you. Respect to Jesus Christ and respect to God our Father. How many people out there say, right, he's mental, put him in a nut house?
Do you think you're mad?
No, my heck. Do you think I'm mad? You think I'm mad? No, look, I'm Mark Rabbetts, son of God. That's it, don't mess with me. all I want you to do is be happy. God created us. He wants us to see us grow, be happy. It's like now I see what I see. I can see things that you probably don't see. I met a little girl, which I did, and trust me, the little girl that I spoke to just over there was sitting down on, and she can't sit on anything higher because she's so little. She says I have to say little, not little. And she had a lovely little pair of brown shoes, all leather laces, and she's looking for a brother. Her brother's here somewhere, buried here somewhere, so she's looking for him. And she wanted me. I held her hand. I walked with her. I held her hand, and she's not here now. I'm trying to find her. And it's like warm. I can actually feel warmth. They say that your spirit's cold and you're dead, but I actually felt warmth in her little hands, and then she started putting my little finger.
There are psychics, not just in this country, but all over, and there are people who claim to, clairvoyance, people who claim to see things and to understand things. And indeed, some of these people are visionaries, and they have extraordinary talents. They seem to be able to access, things that, you and I cannot, okay? We don't call them insane.
I just think it's not normal. Definitely Mark has tendencies of schizophrenia, and I think it has happened in later life, not when he was growing up, but all the things that have gone wrong in his life, I think, has brought it out. He believes that he's going to be Prime Minister one day and he's going to run this country. I think he really, really believes it. Like, he really believes he's the son of God.
Mark's hometown of Teddington is not exactly Bethlehem, but he does make a remarkable claim for the day he was conceived.
I'm now standing outside the house that I was created in, which is 46 York Road in Teddington. I was created on Christmas Day 1962, and I was born on September the 14th, 1963. But I weighed 10 3/4 pounds. I was 3 weeks overdue, and my mum said to me, funny enough, she said, I stood up in the cot and kept smiling. She said, all you ever done was smile when you was a child. Always smiling. I'll never forget that.
My Mark was, I always used to say he was 10 3/4 pound, and I used to say he'd been here before because he was such a lovely child.
Mark likes to call himself Mark, but within the family we've always called him Tony, as that is his middle name. I shared a bedroom with Tony till I was 11 years of age. It was a wonderful relationship. We were very close.
When Mark was 4 years old, something happened that would negatively affect the rest of his childhood.
We're on a location in Hampton Hill. I moved here in 1965. I was 2 years of age, and I used to play here on this green. But every single day of my life, I'd come up, lovely sunny day like this, until one day someone tried to take me. I was 4 years of age. I'd just been playing in the park. And as I was coming home because I was hungry, I got to about here when I noticed or heard something in the back. By the time I got up to the stairs here, the figure was here. It was a man, about 45, 50. He then started running up here. I started running. So I ran up here because I was petrified, 4 years of age. Anyway, by the time I got to the top here, he was just coming around the corner and he tripped on that step there and just missed my ankle, but with his hand there. By the time I got to the top of the stairs here, this guy was on me. He was basically right there. So I got to the top of the stairs, 4-year-old boy, petrified. Can you imagine it? Anyway, as I come to the front door like this, I opened up the letterbox to look in, and all I could see is my nan doing the hoovering. She couldn't hear me. I was petrified, so I grabbed hold of the knocker on the letterbox like this, and he grabbed me, put his arms underneath my body, and he was tugging away at me like that. Ugh. But I couldn't let go. For some reason, my hands would not let go of that letterbox. I was in agony. Then all of a sudden, no more pain. It felt like someone was holding and gripping him on there, so he weren't meant to take me. Next thing I know, he's done a runner down the stairs there. My nan seen him out the window. When my dad got home, give him a big description of him. My dad went out looking for him.
He came up screaming, Mummy, let me in, let me in. I said, My mum said, the door's open, what's the matter? And he said, that man up there's tried to take me, Mum. And every time they got out there, that someone got out there, he was gone. And he never went out. He wouldn't go out without me. He wouldn't go to the toilet without me. He just wouldn't sleep without me. It completely, frightened him to death. In the end, we used to take him to psychiatrists, and they said the reason, it'd be better if he moved. So we took a derelict house down Princess Road.
She had to actually get me out of that house, so she put in for a transfer, and we moved here, where I had my first experience with God, because I was up in my room one evening when we just moved in. I looked up at the sky, and I said to him, why did you protect me from the abduction? And he said, because obviously I'm your father. Any father would protect their child, wouldn't they? So then I knew. And that's when I knew. And I've known all along that I've been a bit different from everybody else. Well, this is the church that I used to come down here every day when I was about 8 years of age. This is a beautiful church. We used to play football here, hide and seek, tennis. We used to go scrumping across the road then for an apple or a pear, because obviously in those days times were hard. You couldn't go and buy fruit, couldn't afford it. You had to go scrumping. Anyway, the reason I started coming to this church was when I was about 7, 8ish, my brother Roy was a professional football player. Not at the time, but he got picked playing for Hampton Hill Celtic. So we used to get changed in the church, well, below the church, underneath it. We used to get changed in there. I think it's a little cathedral. We used to get changed in there, put our football boots on, come walking out the front, get in the cars and drive down to the football pitch, play our match, and then obviously get brought back. So I used to go and watch him play at that time, so that's how I got introduced to the church. But I felt at home anyway. I mean, to be honest with you, I've always loved the church. So when I got to the age of 9, I had an experience. I asked God if he wanted me to be a priest, and he said, there's many doors that you can open, but whatever door you open, it will be your decision. And I honestly can tell you this now, that when I look back at my life now, I know why I weren't meant to be a priest at 9, but I know why I'm meant to be spreading the word of Jesus Christ now. Because I would never have had the experiences that I had if I'd become a priest at that time.
Starting with the death of his father, Mark would be repeatedly subject to personal traumas and loss. As an adult, he had not been a regular churchgoer, and so his main support was his family. But the family was itself struggling to cope, not just with the father's death, but with the loss of both of Mark's brothers.
In 1999, we lost our dad. We were very close to my dad, all of us. And then 6 months later, we lost Danny, my middle brother, I should say. He was 37, it was very hard. Not just with me and Tony, but with my mum. She took it very hard. And then 2 years ago, we lost my oldest brother. The circumstances that they died, one was a victim of violence. He got a mallet over the head. He was brain damaged completely, and he lasted for 12 years. He was epileptic, he was on steroids. He went from 9.5 stone to 22 stone. This was the younger one. He didn't want to live. He he couldn't live the way he was living. Danny was very outgoing. I mean, he was lovely, my brother Danny. He was very good to me and my kids. And with Roy was a victim of violence. He got hit over the head with a hammer by his best friend, which was drug related. He had 2 blood clots to the brain, and he was slightly brain damaged. He wasn't as bad as Danny. He lasted 5 years after his accident, 5 or 6 years after his accident, and then I don't know if drugs contributed to his death. He had 2 clots to the lung, and it killed him instantly. They went to the lung and he died, basically, and he was 50.
Mark changed when his second brother died.
They were very close, very, very close. I was close to him, but not as much as what Tony was. And I think from then on he went downhill.
To the outside world, Mark appeared to be in control of his life. He ran a successful building company and was a wealthy man. But as the hits kept coming, he was finding it harder to cope and was becoming increasingly vulnerable.
I came here full of courage, very happy. Started a business in West Farm Avenue. I've got this office here now, which obviously I've worked hard to get. Things were going great at the time. I had 18 staff, that was including my wife. I had 5 vans. I had a great business. Everything was going well. I was out there doing what I had to do. I was, to be perfectly honest with you, I was the governor. But I was vulnerable, so people took advantage of me, and that's what happened. This is one of my flats, and this is what they done to me. Look, broke the door in, came in here, went upstairs and stole all my tools. I come up here, look, I come up here. After I've paid them one day, they come in here and rob me the next day. What sort of person does that? Nicks your tools. Mate, this world is wrong. I came here to be a disciple of God, and that is what I stand for. But, unfortunately, it didn't happen. I'm now going to sell all this, but I do feel that I've been forced to sell it. I don't really want to leave Ashton, but after being robbed, beaten, what choice have I got? MAR Roofing Building Service Limited, Mark speaking.
In the midst of his
yeah,
bereavements
that's not
and
a
family
problem.
traumas,
Whereabouts are you?
Mark found himself facing increasing problems at work, including the robbery and a subsequent assault. But his troubles were only getting started.
God bless you, bye-bye. I employed somebody that defrauded my company, and it was like a landslide. 1 minute I'm up the top. It's like I've never fell off a roof, touch wood, but I feel like I fell off the ladder.
He seemed to withdraw from everything. He was drinking rather a lot, and he was saying silly things.
To be honest, last 18 months, to lose your brother after your marriage, your business, but then previously I lost my brother and my dad with the breast cancer and mum. It's like as soon as you get over one problem, another challenge is there. It takes a lot of courage for a man to stand up in front of the camera, but I have to be honest because I don't tell lies. So you are asking me the question, I can easily say no comment now, but if I say no comment now, then the kids out there won't understand what I'm trying to say to them. I took ketamine for years.
When my brother died, I know that he was taking drugs. His drugs was drugs in a big way. I didn't actually know he was taking ketamine. I thought it was just puff.
Donald Deacon is an integrative psychotherapist working for ASCA, the Addiction Support and Care Agency.
Ketamine in low doses can relax people, it can make them feel chilled out, it can make them feel part of the party, but as the dose gets higher, they become increasingly more dissociated from themselves. They tend to separate their mind and bodies. Their coordination becomes very clumsy, their judgment and rational thinking begins to fall apart, and eventually they're incapable of movement and may be suffering from very vivid hallucinations, unable to move at all.
Mentally, it took the pain away. Physically, you don't eat. Stomach cramps, mate.
Ketamine is currently used by a lot of users for depression. They're self-prescribing this medication using illegal supplies and drugs bought on the street. But as far as I know, it has no place as an antidepressant.
But all the time you take it, you think, I'll take it for one more day. It's such an addictive drug that you could take that for 2 years, and 2 years later you won't even know where you are, because you won't remember the last 2 years. You remember waking up with a catheter, looking 60 when you're 20. It's like, like having a baby. You say, I'm never having a baby again after, but you do have another one, don't you? And I've said it so many times, I'm never going to touch that ketamine again, because I've been sick, physically sick on my hands and knees, crawling with the pain and going, and white as a ghost, and thinking, this is it, I'm going to die. You feel like your heart's slowing down, because you're so white, you think there's no blood left, you know what I mean? There's no blood going around your body. You think to yourself, what's going to happen to me next? But once that pain's gone and you relax, what's the first thing you do? I'll take another line of ketamine. That's got to be mentally just because what makes you do that?
All addiction at the end of the day is an attempt to control our world. We feel that life out there is unbearable, so we need something to bring it in. So whether it's a substance abuse addiction or a behavioural addiction like an eating disorder or a sex addiction, most addictions are based around control. All hallucinogenic drugs create a sense of other. They create a sense that there is something beyond, perhaps. When we look at a room after taking an hallucinogenic drug, things change. We see shimmers, we see things opening up, we may see even spirits, we may see actual hallucinations of things that aren't there. People report seeing dragons, angels, demons, monsters, whatever. But this has led historically to there being a link between hallucinogenic drugs and spirituality. Now, most, and I hate to say the word experts, but perhaps gurus, people who understand perhaps the spiritual workings of the brain, would probably say that in a trained person, a person who is ready, that these drugs can help to unlock things that need to be seen, that need to be brought out at a certain stage. But for somebody who has not undergone some sort of training, who is not spiritually aware, who perhaps is not properly grounded, they can be disastrous. Seeing a demon, seeing a monster, seeing Jesus speaking to you can be an overwhelming experience.
Fueled by alcohol and ketamine, Mark's life was spiralling out of control. In October 2011, he was involved in a car accident that would change everything.
The day the accident happened, that morning, I actually thought I was going to die anyway. And I didn't know whether it was going to be through me committing suicide or something happening to me. But that night I went over to drop some drawings off for some flats that I'm developing now at my property. And even the police today, even the psychologist, the psychiatric reports, all say that when I left the traffic lights, I went straight into the wall instead of going to the right, like with the flow of traffic. But I wasn't in control of that. I wasn't in control of that. I went into a wall, went up the pavement, into a lamp post, into a shop front, spun the car around, and never had a scratch on me. But it was then that I realised, after I got off, when I was in the police cell, I thought, you've answered all my questions now. I had an idea who I was, but after the car crash, then I knew who I was. The first question I asked him was, am I who I think I am?
And who do you think you are?
I don't think I'm anybody. I know who I am.
Who are you?
So ask that question, who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Mark Rabbetts, an angel with a dirty face, but I'm also a prophet from God. I am a spirit. We're all spirits. We was born, I believe that when you die, when your heart stops, it releases your soul. And that is what happens. It releases your soul, and then you'll see things that you never thought that you'd ever experience again. I'm gifted. I'm like, you can kill two birds with one stone. I see you as normal people now, but I see spirits that stand next to you. I walk down the shop every day, and by the time I've left my property to get to the shop, I could have met 10 people that you can't see, but I can see them. Scattered about, laying on the grass. Of course, I can see them, yeah. That's where they choose to be. Of course. You can't speak to Jesus, you can't speak to God if you can't speak to Spirit, because then that means nothing. We think if you speak to Jesus, if you speak to God, how can you not speak to a spirit? Because He created them, and who are they? They are spirits. I'm in Headley, in Box Hill, and I can see so many things going on behind me. I can see there's a lady here. Her name's Madeline, right? Her name's Madeline, and she's buried here. She's buried here, not here, but in the grounds here, and she's smiling at me. She likes me. She does. She said she likes me. Can't help that. I mean, but if she says it, I have to say it. She likes me. Of course, she's gorgeous and all. I wish I was 300 years. 1867 is when she passed over, but she comes here because she likes to be here. Oh, mate. Oh, she's talking to me now. Children are here as well, so she comes here to visit her children. They've passed over, obviously. If she was born in the 18th century, they must have passed over. Joseph and who? Sarah. Joseph and Sarah she had two children, a boy and a girl. One was Joseph and one was Sarah, yes? Really? Okay. Apparently, she's saying to me now that her uncle was the priest here, or whatever it was, in that day. And that's what she's. Listen, you can't see it, but trust me, she stands there now, and she tells me this. Okay. There's something really symbolic about where I am now. There's something about this. This must represent something. Look. What does it represent? Rape. Oh my God. Gee. That's what I said when I came in here. Didn't like it, didn't I? People used to be, years ago, not today, early 19th century, 1920s, 1930s, they'd use that to type, and they'd rape you. I've got to get out of it. That's what they would do. I'm telling you now. I'm not just saying this, that is, I can smell it. Rape. Bad, bad, bad. Oh, mate. Oh, God. I can see things in there. Oh, no. It's like a torture chamber, but an open torture chamber. See that there? See the cross up there? Look at the cross up there. That is false. You never have a cross up there for what I see in there. No way. No way in the world. Blasphemy, blasphemy, blasphemy. I can look at them queuing up. Queuing up. They're queuing up. See men queuing up. They're queuing up here, look. Oh. Just get their in. Just to get their wicked ways. She's there and they're all queuing up. Oh. She's only about 15. They're putting money. They're putting money. They're putting money. They're putting money. Putting money. Oh, they're putting money. They're going, paying money, money. Money, putting money there. Coins. Not notes, coins. They put them there. They're tying her up. They're tying her up. Tying her up. Dirty cunts. You dirty bastards. Oh mate, if you could see what I could see, you dirty bastards! How could you do that to a child? I'm sorry. It's time that we changed, that you respected my dad. What's going to happen is this: he's had enough. Full stop. He's had it up to here. At some time in your life, you'd have had enough. And he's had enough. I will change this world. Who else is going to do it? Who do you know? All of you, who do you know that's going to do it? No one. I'm a man that's been about for a long, long time. I've had so much crap in my life. I'm big enough, I'm brave enough, and I will change this world, yeah. How am I going to do it? By going on national television, for starters, and then I will become a politician.
In 2007, Mark stood as a Conservative for councillor in Leatherhead North, losing narrowly. This time, his plans are a little more ambitious.
I don't like to be dictated to by anybody, so I wouldn't let the monarchy decide what I do. If I became leader of this country, it will be me that decides what this country needs for the best, and I am obviously guided by God. They have to do as they're told. Someone above them runs this country, and it's about time we had change. It's about time we went upstairs, had a look at who they think they are, and saying, look, no, enough's enough. You might have about, what, 20, 30 people up there, powerful people above the monarchy running this world. Well, I'll tell you what, by the time I finish, I'm going to have 3 million people standing behind me. And I'll tell you what, you mess with us, and that's it. Because me and my party will make sure that this country is a better place for our children's future. That's all I'm interested in.
But what do the people that know Mark think about him? We asked a few of his neighbours in his current hometown of Ashted.
I've known Mark Rabbetts for 3 years. He's a lovely bloke, he's never done me no harm, always been full of joys. Yeah, nice person.
And I appreciate that.
No problem, mate.
Cheers, thank you very much,
All right.
and respect you, and God bless you all, yeah?
Take care.
Respect to you, yeah?
Heard how he got robbed, and I believe he was beaten up as somebody broke into his house. Yeah, I mean, he's gone through some hard times, but yeah, I mean, I can't have anything really bad to say about him, to be fair. He's always been good to me.
At the end of the day, the first thing I'd like to do is immigration in a nice way. Obviously, I'm not racist, but I would like to say that I'd like to see my British patriots back at work, and then if there's any more there for them, then fair, that's fine.
Mark is my neighbor for last two years or 3 years, I think. Mark is very religious man. He respects all the religion, mine and as well others as well.
Secondly, I'd like to change the NHS. I'd like to change the laws on that. I think that there's a lot of nurses deserve a lot more appreciation. Thirdly, I'd like to change the laws on wars. I don't believe that we should be fighting other people's wars. I don't believe that we should be out there now interfering with other people's decisions. I mean, we don't let people come here and tell us how to live. So why do we go to other places and tell them how to live? Let them get on with it. It's their way of life. Let them get on with it. What's it got to do with us? I'm more protective about my own children Once I've sorted my own children out and my country's children out, of course. Go on, hit it, good boy.
Mark's involvement in youth projects is long-standing, and at the Brunswick Youth Club in Twickenham, he and his cousin Tony put various young lads through their paces.
Best way, go on my son. That's it. This is the first time I can honestly say that there's been two Tony Rabbetts in the same gym. This is my cousin Tony Rabbetts, and I'm so proud to be his cousin. That's it, watch this space. Go on, son! I used to come here from the age of probably 12 till I was about 15. So 3 years here, twice a week. Loved it. Kept us off the streets, you know what I mean? That's what we need more of, isn't it?
To be quite honest, because quite a lot of children come down here, come from broken homes. And like once they've been down here about a month or 6 weeks, the parents usually come up to me and say, "What have you done to my son? He's a really good boy." You know, he's being polite. And I won't have the kids coming down here if they don't go to school.
With Tony doing this, he's actually getting kids off the street. He's getting them away from Xbox, isn't he? He's getting away from getting a gun in your hand and shooting everything. And how boring is that? When you shoot someone, it's easy to pull a trigger, isn't it? That's easy. If you want to look after yourself and gain respect, you've got to get in a boxing ring and gain it, haven't you? Where else are you going to gain it? So, you know, let's hope that these kids earn respect, get respect, and we can bring respect back, can't we? Because that's what this country lacks. Respect.
Mark Rabbetts is like quite a genuine lad, very polite lad. Everyone talks about him. He's a very polite person. I've never heard anyone say a bad word against him, to be quite honest. I think Mark's more of a lover than a fighter, to be quite honest.
Right. The next thing, the agenda is Africa. Why is no one doing anything about Africa? Look at that, look, spend all that money on doing that up. Why don't you go put, what greater pleasure would you not pick out a loaf of bread and go and a bucket of water, clean water may I add, and go and giving that, just go into a village and say, look, there's some food and drink. That'd be a better satisfaction than looking at that, or any of these big buildings. Who pays for all that? Who pays to keep all that, the maintenance of it? People like me. Well, not no more. I'm going to change taxes. That'll be another thing on my agenda. Taxes. Why is it then we don't go, when you go to Sainsbury's and you buy a loaf of bread, a pint of milk and a pack of sugar, you get a receipt. 20 pence, 30 pence, pack of sugar, blah, blah, blah. You know what you're paying for. Where do I ever get my tax bill back saying what I paid my taxes for? Why can't they tell me where my taxes have gone? You know why? Because it's going straight over there and then straight there to the monarchy. Who are we? Just people, slaves. Time for change. Watch this space. Mark Rabbetts has had enough. Do not trust any of them there. Do not trust any of them because they all tell the same thing, lies. Ask them to take a pay cut, just 10% of their wages to help the needy in London. See if they do it. Go on, ask them. Shall we ask them? Any politicians out there, why don't you give 10% of your income this year to somebody that needs it? If not, why are you representing my country? If you can't represent your people, why are you representing my country? Thank you very much. I like that. Why don't they do something? Yeah, look, that's God ringing the bell, so it's about time they've done something.
Of course, Mark is not the only one trying to change the world by spreading a Christian message that urges greater care for the poor and downtrodden. On the other side of Westminster Bridge, he encounters an evangelist and the stage is set for a fascinating debate.
Get ready for the Judgment Day. This is what's coming for the G8. You wonder what's coming to the world? This is what's coming to the world. We're headed for big trouble. It's all prophesied in the Bible. Jesus is the only one who can bring peace.
I believe that I'm one of God's soldiers, yeah.
One of God's soldiers?
Yeah, one of Jesus' brothers, yeah, why not?
Are you born again?
No, I've always been a Christian.
Oh, you've got to be born again, my friend. God loves you.
Of course he does.
Jesus said unless a man is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
Yeah, but being born again, maybe reincarnated, doesn't mean to say you have to believe in religion. How do you know?
No, young man, you be careful. God loves you, friend, but we've got to go his way. We can't go our way. You know why the world's in trouble? We're going our own way, not God's way. God loves us, but if we refuse to turn from our sin, the Bible says we end up in hell.
Ah, but listen, a lot of the Bible is false.
Hey,
Of course it is.
who told you that?
I know it. Listen, if everybody believed that everything is false, such things, false prophet.
Of course.
Right,
Yeah.
so in the Bible there is false prophet.
Not in the Bible.
Of course there is. You think everything in the Bible's true?
The Bible warns us about false prophets.
Mate, please,
You know what the
respect to you.
Bible says?
Respect to you, my friend.
I
And I
respect
love you
you.
to bits. Respect to you, but I don't agree with
This
what
is what the Bible says. This is what the Bible says.
Right.
It is appointed unto man to die once.
Yeah.
But after this, the judgment. You might not believe it, but that's what's going to happen. We're all going to die once. No reincarnation. When we die, we go to meet our Maker, Jesus Christ.
So if he wanted someone to come down here and stand up for him and respect him, what, he ain't got the power to send someone down here to do that?
God has got all the power.
Right,
God-
there you go. That's just answered your question then. I am reincarnated. I am here to serve him. No disrespect to you. I've got the utmost respect for you to be standing outside here with your microphone on, holding all that, but to me that means nothing. Action speaks louder than words. If you're going to do it for a TV programme so everyone will see and understand what I'm about. My name's Mark Rabbetts and I'm telling you something straight to your face now, young man.
Yes, what you
I'm
tell me?
different to you.
I know you are. You're not yet born again. At the moment, this world is on the broad way that leads to destruction.
This world is going down
We're
here.
ready for God's judgment.
Exactly, that's why I'm here to try and save it.
Well, you can't save it.
Says
we
who?
can't save
Says
it.
who?
Because we are sinners.
Well,
a sinner can't save the world. Only God, who is holy, can save the world.
Yeah, but
young
surely he can empower somebody to show people the way.
man. But you're not the way. Jesus is the way.
I know.
Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the
Exactly.
life.
Thank you.
No man
You've hit the
cometh
nail
to
right on
the
the head.
Father.
You've hit the nail right on the head. I believe you.
Jesus
yeah,
is the way.
Yeah, and how do you know I ain't Jesus?
Oh, you're not Jesus.
How do you know?
Well, I can touch you.
Yes, so you can touch Jesus Christ.
I can see you're not Jesus.
You're just a front, mate.
Okay, that's your choice.
You're a false prophet.
Okay, God bless you, friend.
God
Don't end up in hell. Be careful.
Listen, son,
God loves
I
you,
just
buddy.
told you I was.
You're not Jesus, my friend. You're
I'll
a
tell you
false
what,
prophet.
am I?
Yes.
Am I?
Yes.
What makes you think I'm a false
Because
prophet?
I know you are. Because
How do
you
you?
claim to be Jesus. That's a false prophet.
How do you say what? Did they not say that he will come again?
Yeah, but you're,
Certainly not with you with a
He's
microphone in
coming
your
back
mouth.
in power and great glory.
What have you ever done for anybody, mate?
What have I done with you?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question.
What have you ever done for
What I
anybody?
do now is I tell people of God's love and His coming judgment.
You can't talk about it. Action speaks.
pick that up,
Action
young man?
speaks louder than words, mate.
Armageddon is coming, the battle for Israel and Jerusalem. When that comes, that triggers the return of Messiah, the King of Israel. Then He will come back.
Hold up.
To
Sorry.
save Israel and
Why
judge the
the
world.
King of Israel? Why Israel?
Because He's the King of Israel.
Who is?
Jesus is the King of Israel.
Why he's not the King of the world?
He's the King of the world. He's the King of kings
Listen,
and Lord of
I
lords.
was born in England, but don't mean to say that I'm not the king of the whole world, does it?
Jesus is the King of Israel.
Yeah.
He comes of the tribe of Judah. He's of the son
listen,
of David.
why don't you talk about what's going on in your country? Forget Israel.
This is what's
Talk
going
about
on
what's
in
going on in our
country. Let me
country.
show you what's going on in our
Yeah,
country. Look.
yeah.
Let me show you this.
Yeah. Don't have to show me, I know.
Look.
I know what's going on in our country. What do you think I'm
Yeah,
doing
but get
this?
this on the television. This is what's going on in our country. That's what's happening since we rejected Jesus. We're flooded out with filth.
Absolutely agree with you.
Because the government and the nation don't believe in Jesus.
And I absolutely agree with you on that. On that
Right,
I agree
right,
with you.
God bless you.
Absolutely,
God bless you.
absolutely.
That's for you, man. God loves you. He wants you to get to heaven. He doesn't want you to go to hell.
I've been there.
He loves you. No, you haven't.
Oh, mate. This is what you believe in, which is now. Yeah, because you know it's going on in this world, yeah,
I
and
see
I
it,
agree,
yes,
and
yes.
I see it.
Yes.
But what you don't see is what I've seen before. You don't
that's-
see
that's
that,
between
so
you
you
and
can't.
God.
You
I
can't
can't
judge
judge
me.
that.
You're judging me.
I can't judge that.
You've judged me.
I'm judging you. You're not Jesus. I
So,
know that.
so who are you to judge me?
Well, you're not Jesus.
Who are you to judge me?
Because I know you're a false prophet.
How do you know I'm a false
Because
prophet?
you claim
If I'm
to
a
be
false
Jesus.
prophet, what are you standing in front of my camera for?
Well, all right, you need
Well,
to
why are you
ask
standing in
them.
front of
You
my
need
camera
to-
if I'm a
you
false
need to ask
prophet?
them.
You're the
You
false
know,
prophet.
listen, when the Bible says when Jesus comes back, He comes back in power and in great glory. Now you're a man, you haven't came here in power and in great glory.
What do you know about me?
And every,
What do you know about me?
hold on now, friend. The Bible says when He
don't
comes
talk to me
back.
anymore, mean it. He's talking. You're the false prophet.
Okay, pal.
Come on.
No, thank you, friends. God
Cut.
bless you all. God bless you,
Yeah.
sir. God bless you.
And you. That is a
Have
false
a good
prophet.
day, everybody. God bless you all.
How can anybody judge me? Who's he to judge me? He doesn't know nothing about me.
He'll ring me up and he will start talking about God, I mean, it ain't a normal conversation like a brother and sister should have. It's a conversation about God and him becoming Prime Minister and what he's going to do with this country, and really odd.
He would say about, I'm going to rule the world and things like that. And I'm going to change this world.
I think the changes he wants to make are good changes. I don't think, I think he really wants to make his life to be good, but I do think he's crying out for help. I think he's crying out, for his family, which we're here for him, but we don't know how to react to that.
All I'm saying is, I reckon I can run this country better than what the government is at the moment, because you can't buy experience. It will take me 5 years to get to learn how to be a Prime Minister, because they only go to university for 5 years, don't they? So in 5 years, in the next 5 years, I'll get the education and then become Prime Minister. They've got to get another 45 years of experience because I've got 50 years of it. So they ain't got no chance of it, have you? Do you see what I'm saying? They've got no experience. You can't buy experience.
It's reality, love. Don't you think you've got to be educated to?
What, to be a Prime Minister?
Yeah,
Sharon, no. No, I don't remember Julius Caesar's going to college. I don't remember Julius Caesar's picking up a book. Oh no, ask the question, I answer it.
You can't.
I don't think, but he was a leader. And look at him. Who's this? Look. Julius Caesar, isn't it?
But you can't win with you, Tom.
Well, I don't. Chaz, that's exactly it. I don't want to lose, do I?
No.
Every time a knock comes at the door and it's a policeman from someone round here, I get anxious because I've got a bad heart. I get all anxious and frightened, and I think, oh God, something's going to happen to him, like the two other boys.
One minute I've got my 3 best friends standing by me, and she's got her children, and we've lost it.
We've still got a sister.
And that's why people.
We've still got a sister.
Yeah, I know, I've still got a sister, yeah. But I've got now, no, if anything happens to my children.
Nothing's going to happen to them.
Mark takes the ferry to the Isle of Wight. It is a contemplative journey, for this is the place where he came so close to committing suicide.
A lot of people come here when they get stressed out, climb this fence and take their lives. Now, I probably in my lifetime have thought about that with the pressures I've had, and I come very, very close to it. I'm not ashamed to say it. Sometimes you get so much pressure, something happens, something triggers off inside you. We're all God's children, all of us. But I just think I'm a bit closer to him. I don't know why, but I just definitely feel different to how I read other people's body language and that, I just feel that I'm different. I mean, I survived a real bad car crash this year, and to walk away with that with a scratch and not actually hurt anybody, because I mean, I wouldn't even kill an ant. So if I killed a human being, I wouldn't know, the guilt would be with me for the rest of my life. So that's what I say to people out there, don't go around beating people up and mugging people and inflicting pain on people. No one's gonna benefit. No one's benefiting from that. No one. If you want to do it, get in a boxing ring and do it. If you don't want to do it in a boxing ring, don't do it at all. Simple as that, isn't it? I mean, after all the things that have happened to me in my life, the bad things, I still want to help people. Because it's good and bad in everybody. I ain't no angel, I'm just an angel with a dirty face. We'll make mistakes.
I hope Tony does get better. I want him to be a big part of my life. I want him to come back into my life and be a big part of my life and to get to know my children. I want him to get better. I want him to be part of my life. Now I'm going to cry. I just want him to be normal. I want him to come round for dinner. I just want him to be My old Tony, I don't want him to be like this.
But at the end of the day, I've got experience, and this country needs experience, because how can you talk about something if you've not experienced it? Well, do you know the effects? You never experienced it, hence violence, alcohol and drugs. I've experienced the 3 worst things that can be happening on this planet at the moment. Number 1, number 2 and number 3. Death first, yeah? Alcohol second, drugs third. I've experienced all 3 at the top of the tree.
Listen, them 2 ones there, the drugs and the alcohol,
Yeah.
wasn't no one else's fault, love. It was
No,
yours.
yeah, I couldn't cope, couldn't cope.
You couldn't cope.
No.
And I
Took
still,
the pain away.
I still think now,
Mhm.
even after losing Roy, I don't think you're coping. I'm 72 and I know a bit about life, don't I?
I can't see how that's going to change my views.
Well,
is it?
right, won't change your views. You can have as many views as you like. This is a free country.
That's it.
You can have what you like, can't you? But you won't never change the world, darling. You won't. I'm telling you now.
Well, I'll never go.
Well, have a go.
Listen, I'd rather come second than not even be in the race. You know what I mean? I hope to start a new life, move away from where I'm living. It's going to be hard work, but you don't get nothing out of this world for nothing. What goes round comes round. Simple as that. The world goes round, so do we.
Different people claim different things. Some people are Christians, some people are Muslims, some people are Buddhists, some people are, atheists, okay? But there is no definitive theory about the human psyche or about the afterlife or, like Baudelaire said, to translate it into English, we come from a darkness and we go to a darkness, and it is not for us to know.
Limitless. Now can you imagine a life with no limits, where anything's possible and all possibilities are endless? I can, 'cause nobody's perfect, but nobody says you can't strive to be perfect. Look, I ain't trying to be God, I just want to be closer to him. You know, I heard the sky was the limit. To me, it's the beginning. I'm headed to the heavens, I'll be gone for a minute. I'm only getting started, just imagine when I'm finished. It's on to the next one. Homie, this is endless. People staring at me through their telescope lenses. 'Cause I am a star. Listen, pay attention. I be working magic like the sorcerer's apprentice. I'ma get it in, I just need to see the entrance. Then I work it out like a motherfucking gymnast. Non-stop running for this money, I'm relentless. Anything I want, I can get it in an instant. Harvard, Princeton, put me up against it. No opposition, my own competition.